Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Donaram Monologue podcast. This, again, is your solo... This is your host, Beau. That was a weird way to introduce myself. It's a very Zoolander way. This is Beau. Before we go any further, we want to thank our sponsor, again, Ashley Luann K on Instagram. Check her out through the links we have provided. It provides information on education, lifestyle, occupation of nursing. So if you have any questions about nursing, we strongly encourage you to check out her. The Instagram format is you'll be surprised how handy that is for gathering information. So today's episode is going to be a defense of a game format that we don't see a lot of defenses for. And I think there should be, because I think these games have a place. I don't think they're the greatest format of games. I don't buy them that often. I don't play them that often, but I do like them when I do, and that is what people derogatorily call walking simulators or narrative-driven games. I really like, or the visual novel. Basically, games that have an extremely linear path and are almost 100% story, like no combat, almost sometimes not even puzzles or anything, just playing like that. And I do like this format of game because as I've said a billion times, video games are a narrative format that invites you to be the protagonist, not empathize with the protagonist, but actually feel what they're feeling because the gameplay has led you to feel this way. And I did a terrible, awful, embarrassingly bad Let's Play of Gone Home probably 6 or 5 years ago. Please don't watch it. Like, if there's one thing I'll ever tell you not to watch on Donaram, if that's still up, I don't know. If there's one thing I tell you not to watch, don't watch that. And I understand that the more I say that, the more you're curious to go and watch it. It's like 3 hours long, so gotcha. You're not watching that. I know you're not. So, but man, what a great... It's weird. It is fun. It's fun to watch it because Gone Home, for those of you that don't know, it was made by an indie developer a couple years ago, and the worst part of the internet, of course, hated it because you're playing a young girl, and the game is about it has an LGBTQ message, and you don't kill anyone. So, of course, the worst part of the internet hated it for those reasons, which is ridiculous. But you're a young girl returning from college. You go home to a mansion that your family didn't live in for very long before you moved away to college. You come in the middle of the night, door's locked, no one's home, and you've just got to explore the mansion and figure out why. And so I love the little narrative piece that you hadn't lived in the mansion long before you moved away to college, because it makes sense why the player would also be stumbling through this place as though they didn't know it very well. You didn't live in it that long. You've been gone for a long time. And you just have to find out what happened to her family. And the game does a very good job of the entire time, right up to the end, of making you feel this is either really benign or extremely sinister. It does a fantastic job of it, and it's just so much fun to explore that. And Don and I did a podcast over Night in the Woods, which I think is an incredible game, and it's a walking simulator. And that's just it's a great way to tell a story. And there's these narratives, there's these things we could talk about through a video game that will impact you harder than if you just watched a movie. And that's what I don't get. They're like, I'm not sitting through a 3-hour game, or I don't even fight or do anything like that. But you'll go watch a 3-hour movie where you do literally nothing. Like, you're not doing anything. You're just watching it. So I don't understand the difference. And so Night in the Woods, another one, it does have a little bit of combat, but it's not like traditional combat. L.A. Noire. L.A. Noire is a fantastic game. You're only going to play it once because once you figure out, who done it, it's no real reason to go back. But the first time you play it, it's great. It's L.A. Noire might be one of the few games released nowadays that I would say rent, don't buy. But rent it or borrow it from a bud. I'm probably going to buy it on the Switch because I think it's cool that it's on the Switch. But there's no such thing as a bad genre video game. Have I done that yet? No. I'll probably do that some other time, but there's no such thing as a bad genre video game. This is not a bad genre of video game. It's not. There's no such thing. There's just ones you don't care for. So Kentucky Route Zero is another one I have been told about a lot. Games don't have to have combos and combat. Like, I don't even know where we learned that, because if you go back to the Atari, there's a lot of games that don't involve combat. In fact, almost none of them involved combat. The Nintendo was not shy from releasing games that didn't. There's Wall Street Kid. All these. In fact, Princess Tomato and the Salad Kingdom, which I would really love to do an LP of someday. Fantastic game. But games don't have to be what. Not Halo is one of the most incredible games of all time, but not every game needs to be Halo. And guys, if you again, I'm not gonna play a walking simulator every day the way I do fighting games. I'm not going to get with the boys and be like, hey, you guys want to sit down and play what happened to Edith Finch? Like, you want to do that? No, I'm probably not going to do that. But they're good and they have a place, and I just hate that people just dismiss them as walking simulators and feel like they're worth nothing, because the narrative of these games clearly indicates that someone poured their heart out into them, and it usually turns out to be really good if you take the time to experience that. So once again, like, share, and subscribe. Click the little bell, and you will know exactly when I'm ready to talk again, or when me and Don are ready to talk again, or any of the other stray mutts hanging around Donarom. Again, the May 31st episode of Donarom was a very special episode. It was the finale of Xenogears. Again, we have a landmark that we reached there. I've talked my head off about it, but 1,000 likes on the YouTube video or 1,000 downloads on any repository, and I will play through Xenosaga 1 through 3 sequentially, all at once. You'll get every second of gameplay, and or if we hit both those goals, I will do the same thing in cosplay the entire time. So please be kind. And that's all I have for today. Enjoy your Thursday. It's Thirsty Thursday. Just one more day, guys.